Even when you were sick.
I have to tell you something in all sincerity. This means a lot to me. But I want you to know that your mother and I were raised entirely different. My family was never affectionate that I can. I knew my parents loved themselves or loved each other, but I never once can recall seeing my mother and dad emotionally hug or kiss or anything like that. And I don't remember ever being hugged or kissed by my dad and even by my mother. So in my growing up, that's been a real stumbling block for me because that's not something naturally I've learned. And so it's difficult for me even today when you guys, and I'm okay with it, but it still bothers me some degree because that's never was a part of my life in growing up. Never was. I never saw that. Never for 1 minute saw that. I want you to know that because I do have feelings, but they're not feelings that I can share. I just can't do that. That's not me. I don't think even, and maybe it's because of how people. My dad died when he was 14, when I was 14, and I just remember my dad having difficulty, and they took. After 2 days of not working and laying on the living room floor and having difficulty, they took him to the hospital. And I remember being left at home. And then I remember being woke up at about 10:30 at night. And mother was crying. And I think it was Dean that told me that dad had passed away. So it was a shock to me that my father had passed away. And then I never cried. I never cried. And when I look at the death of my father, I finally realized that part of the things I did in my life was a result of the anger I had because I felt extremely cheated by the fact that he had passed away. And I was reaching a point in life where you were at a point where you would be doing things with your dad. I mean, sure, I went to the farm and we did farming kind of together, but I'm talking about things that you go fishing, go do hunting. Things. Yeah, we just never did that. And I was angry at that, and it took me a long time to realize my anger was my rebellion, because my mother, I've often said when I see my mother on the other side, the first thing I'm going to tell her is that I'm sorry for the trouble, the grief that I caused you trying to raise me, because my mother told my sister one time, you know, I wished Blaine would have been born first because he's such a hard kid to raise. And then my mother died when I was 21. Now, to put that in perspective, I'm 80. Take 14, when my dad died, off of 80, and what year, how many years is that?
65.
Come on, mathematicians.
66.
66 years, my dad has been dead. Just think of that in time. My mother died in 53, or she was 53 when she died. She died in 63. She was 55. And that makes her
59.
58 or 59. So think of that, the number of years that I have been, not like you guys have. Think of yourself and what you have. You used to have a mother and Garen, and was basically should be like a father to you in some ways.
And you got David.
You got David. You can still associate with them. You're still growing up, and you've come through life, and you know what they're like. And I don't know that. I don't know what my dad. It's hard to just say, the sadness I have. And hope someday that we'll be able to do some things together. Because we never did do things together. Sorry about that, but you need to know that about me. Maybe it'll help you understand why I'm just distant sometimes. So don't give up on your Huggies, but right now,
Right now, the COVID's here.